Namaste. In this class, we're going to open up the side body with some lateral stretches. This is improving the space that we're giving the lungs, so helping us take nice big breaths and energizing the body. And we're actually going to start from child pose today. So coming down onto your mat. Make it your comfortable version of child pose. So let the hips sink back towards the heels. If they don't reach the heels, you can always pad up with a cushion or blanket in between the behind the knees or in between the ankles and the hips. And either bringing the hands down in front of you, seeing if the forehead wants to rest on the mat. If it doesn't, maybe backs of the hands under the head, or even hands down by the feet. So coming into this starting position, really grounded, resting down on your mat, releasing the back of the body and letting it widen. So let's try and breathe into the back of the lungs and open up the space in the back of the body with nice, deep, slow breaths. In and out through the nose, if that's okay for you. And then if the arms aren't already forward, bringing the hands and reaching the arms out in front of you, pressing down into the palms. Lifting the head and the chest up a little, start walking the hands around to the right-hand side. Pausing when you feel there's some resistance there to work with. Press into the floor, inhale. And as you exhale, draw that left hip back and bow the head down. So we're looking for a stretch all down the left-hand side, feeling like the intercostal muscles, the muscles between each rib, are having a nice stretch out. And we're opening up the space between that bottom rib and the hip bone. You might be able to walk the hands around a little more after a couple of breaths. And then slowly walking them back to the center. Pause in the center. Notice if one side now feels longer than the other. Maybe you feel you've got one arm longer than the other. And then rising up a little, walking the hands around to the left, trying to keep the hips back towards the soles, the heels, and then inhale, exhale, really drawing that right hip back and down to open up this stretch all down the right side of the body now. Right arm, the right ribs, right down through the hips. Lovely. Maybe those last couple of breaths, you inch the hands around a little more. And then release. Walking the hands back to the center. Again, pausing, noticing how the body feels, and then coming up to all fours. So hands under shoulders, knees under the hips, unless you want to take this next bit on forearms or sitting, and do cat-cow movements. So nice long spine to start with, keeping the neck in line with the spine. And inhaling as you are, exhaling, drawing the belly up towards the spine, dropping the head. The inhale tilts the hips forward, lift the heart, lift the head. So moving through our cat on the exhale and our cow on the inhale. Flexing and moving the back. And then pausing with that neutral spine again, so nice flat back. And then we're going to take some movements side to side. So Inhaling in the center, exhale, trying to take your left ribs out to the side, turning the head to the right. Inhale through to the center, exhale, taking those left ribs out, turning the head to, taking the right ribs out, turning the head to the left. Inhaling through the center, a couple more times each side, moving slowly and mindfully, trying to get this C curve in the side of your body. Opening up nice and gently. Good. And then after you've done that, an equal number on each side, come back to kneeling. Again, come to forearms if the wrists don't like taking the weight. I'm going to stretch the right leg back behind us, touching the toes onto the floor. Inhale, get length through the crown of the head and through that back heel. And as you exhale, sweep the toes around the floor in an arc to your left and looking over your left shoulder. See if you can see your toes. If you can't see them, imagining they're there and looking towards them. Breathe into the side of the body. So you might be feeling this down the side waist, around the right hip. Nice big breaths. And then sweeping the leg back behind you, bring the knee down. And starting again on the left-hand side, stretching the left foot out behind you, touching the toes on the floor and having a lovely stretch from the crown of the head through to that back heel, inhaling. Exhale, sweeping the toes around behind you, over to the right-hand side, looking over your right shoulder to see if you can see your toes. So we're looking for this C curve in the side body again. Deliberately lengthening one side, shortening the other. Big breaths. And then sweeping the foot back, bringing the knee to the floor. And we're going to come forward into a lunge. So first of all, take the right foot forward. Make sure that the knee is over the ankle. And we're going to stay in a low lunge and lift up from here. So you can come up hands onto your thighs, or on an inhale, pressing down into that front foot, you might lift the hands to the heart or all the way to the sky. Nice big breaths here, trying to think about the side body reaching away from the ground. The gaze can be up at the sky or straight ahead. Trying to keep that front knee over the front ankle. And then we're going to take hold of the left wrist with the right hand, reach up on an inhale, and on the exhale, come into a side stretch. So stretching towards the bent knee, the direction of the bent knee, opening up the left side of the body, arm over the top ear, head tilted to the side. Bringing that space into the side body. Rising up again on an inhale. Exhale, hands down to frame the front foot. And now we're going to rise up into a side stretch. So tuck the back toes, come up into your runner's lunge, and then spin the back foot down onto the floor. So the back heel lands on the floor, and you'll be in your warrior stance. So ideally, those back toes are pointing a little bit towards the front of your mat. Again, try and keep that knee over the ankle, and we can bring the right forearm onto the thigh and the left hand onto the hip. Get your balance there. Start drawing this left shoulder back, turning to the side, and you can keep the hand on the hip. You can raise it up into the air, or you can bring it out over your head. Again, we're looking for opening up the side body, whichever way is right for you. Big breath in here and exhaling, hands coming down to the floor. I'm going to step forwards into a forward fold, lifting up on the inhale, half forward fold, hands on the shins, and bowing down on the exhale, letting the back lengthen, the head be free. Little nod, little shake. And then leaving the left foot at the front of the mat, big stride back with the right foot, drop the knee down, and we'll end up in our low lunge on the other side. So thinking about this knee, trying to keep it over the ankle, rising up in your own way in several breaths, several moves, or one move, hands to the heart or lifting them to the sky. Working on that idea of space in the side body, opening up the front and lifting through the crown of the head. Good stuff. And then taking hold of the right wrist with the left hand this time, reaching up through those right fingers on the inhale, and over we go into a side stretch on the exhale, trying to keep the arm, the hands above the ear, parallel with the ear, dropping the head to the side. And you can always do this with the hands at the heart if you don't like the arms being raised up in the air, if that's not right for the shoulders. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands frame the front foot, ready for your climb. I'm going to swing around so that I'm not turning my back to you. So bringing the left arm now onto the thigh. You want to tuck those toes and lift up. You could do it from low lunge. The right hand comes onto the hip. We spin that back foot down. Once you've got nice and stable, then you can decide if you want to lift the top arm, continue the hand over the head. So picking one of those options and breathing all the way through the body, from the foot to the crown of the head. Nice big inhale to finish. Exhale, bringing the hands down to frame the front foot and stepping forward into your forward fold. Letting the head go, little nod, little shake. Let's do our halfway lift. So bringing the hands onto the shins, extending out through the crown of the head. Little bend in the knees to really get that length in the spine. And on an exhale, bow forwards. Take a breath here, preparing the mind to roll up or rise up in your own way. Press down into the feet. Let there be a bend in the knees and use the strength of the legs to bring yourself up to standing, either rolling up or reverse swan diving up. Come to Tadasana, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the heart, and take a few breaths to settle the energy here at the top of your mat. So we'll do our standing side stretch. Hands can start on the hips. Feet can be a little wider than hip width apart for sturdiness, stableness. And just the left hand, first of all, is going to float up on an inhale. And on the exhale, you're coming over to the side, trying not to bend forward, but all the movement is going sideways. Okay, again, there's no need for this top hand to be lifted up. If you prefer, it can stay on the hip. Maybe this bottom hand starts sliding down the leg, so after a couple of breaths, you might come into a deeper side stretch, only that's right for you, with those left hips swaying out more to the side. Ready to rise up to the center on an inhale and come back to your starting position on the exhale. Spend a breath here. Feel into this side of the body. Does it feel any more open than the other side? Notice sensations, differences, observing, not judging. And then on an inhale, lifting the right hand, reaching to the sky, and then over you go on the exhale. Nice and gentle to start with. Got a few breaths here to work into your side stretch. So letting the hips sway out as comfortable as it is for you. We don't want to push ourselves into discomfort or pain. Maybe this left hand slides down the leg, coming into this lovely curve, and then rising up. Inhale, bringing the hands back to the hips in our starting position. Take a couple of breaths, and we're going to open out the front of the body in a little back bend. Nice gentle back bend, so keeping the feet nice and wide will make you feel supported. Bend the knees deliberately and draw the elbows back. So you can either have the hands on the hips just as they were, or imagine that you've got your hands in your back pockets with the thumbs pointing forward, fingers down, whichever is more comfortable to you. On an inhale, we're going to lengthen through the body, up through the crown of the head, and lift the gaze, lift the nose a little to the ceiling. On the exhale, the hips sway forward, the knees bend a little more, and you explore a gentle back bend. Use the core muscles to bring you back up to standing. Inhaling, exhaling, going into the back bend. So a couple more times like this. It could be very shallow little back bends, or you might feel confident going back a little further, seeing how much of the ceiling or even the wall behind you can see. Last one, really using those core, tummy and waist muscles to bring you up to standing. And then I want you to turn to the side of your mat, have a little shake out, and take a nice, big, wide stance. A little sway from side to side, a little twist will release the work of the back bend. And we're going to turn from side to side in our wide-legged stance. Let's get those feet lined up, so sides of the feet parallel to each other, opening up the arms, making this lovely star shape, so space all through the body, reaching up through the crown of the head, pressing down through the feet. So we're going to inhale in the middle. On the exhale, the left hand goes up, the right hand goes down, touching the leg. Inhale to the center. Exhale, left hand down, right hand up. So inhale, exhale, and you can continue like this for a couple more breaths, or we can now extend this into a little bit of a balance. So inhaling in the center, exhaling, taking our weight onto the left foot and reaching out to the side. Inhaling to the center, taking it into a balance, exhaling, reaching out, pressing into the left foot, lifting the right foot to the side. Good. Inhaling to the center again, ready for a forward fold, hinging forward on the exhale, hinging at the hips and letting the hands come down to the floor. Take a little sway from side to side. Let the head come down towards the floor. Nice long spine. And bend the knees enough for the hands to touch the floor. We're going to walk the hands over to the back of the mat. So over towards that left foot. And then pressing into the left foot, draw the left hip back, trying to straighten the leg, bowing down over that left leg. You can release and bend the knee and then breathe into the stretch. Couple more breaths. When you're ready, bend both knees again. Walk the hands around to the front of your mat towards that right foot, keeping that right knee bent. The left leg is now straight. And inhaling. On the exhale, drawing the right hip back, straightening the right leg and bowing towards it. So releasing, bending the knee. It's nice to do the stretch on the exhale, but see how this works for you. Couple more breaths. And then walking the hands around to the front of your mat, let the toes turn. Push into the hands and step back either to plank pose or come to the knees. So up to you now. If you're in plank, then shoulders over the wrists, head, shoulders, knees, and ankles all in a nice line. And those hips, not too high, not too low. And then everybody come down onto your knees and lower yourself gently onto the floor. So come down onto your belly, either preparing for cobra with the hands under the shoulders, or in sphinx pose with the forearms on the ground and the elbows under the shoulders. So one of those positions. If you're ready to come up in cobra, the inhale lifts the chest forward, lifting up in cobra or sphinx. And on the exhale, I want you to look over one shoulder towards the back foot. Breathing there, getting this stretch in the side and front of the body for a couple of breaths. Turning to the front, resting down. Rising up, cobra or sphinx pose on the inhale, and looking over the opposite shoulder. So a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a stretch in the front and side body. Inhaling to the front, lovely stretch out through those toes, lifting the heart forward and the head, and then down we go, resting onto your belly. Ready to come back into a cat stretch and through to child. So lifting your torso up, pushing into the hands and knees, slowly, slowly coming through your cat stretch. Hips returning to the heels. Come back into child pose where we started. Some nice, deep, slow breaths here. Releasing the work on the back. Again, feeling space in the back of the body, the sides of the body. Nice, deep, slow breaths. When you're ready, using your hands, gently pressing yourself up to kneeling, then sitting. And we're going to stretch out on our backs. So come to lying on your back. If you want something under your head, then pop a blanket or cushion under your head. If you want to put on extra layers, now's a good time to do that. So lying down on your mat, I want you to lift the hands and the arms up and over. If you've got room behind you, stretching out through the fingertips and out through the toes. Nice big inhale there. On the exhale, bring the knees up over the chest. Place the hands lightly on the knees or shins, drawing everything in, and have a little rock from side to side if that feels nice. One more side stretch Taking the legs out long, the hands can either stay next to the hips or they can return above the head. That will accentuate the stretch with the arms over the head. So if that feels too much in a moment, you know you can bring the hands back beside the hips. So thinking of the hips staying in the center to start with, we're going to walk our heels over to the right hand side. So trying to keep the hips on the ground. And then we're going to shimmy our shoulders over to the right hand side. So this should bring us into a curved shape called banana pose or palm tree pose. We've got this lovely crescent in the body. And we're going to stay here, breathing into the left side, trying to release and relax more of the body down onto the ground. So trying to get the arms, the shoulders, the back of the body on the ground. And if after a couple of breaths you feel you can walk the heels a little more to the right, maybe shimmy the shoulders over a little more to the right, and breathe into that stretch, work there. And after a few breaths, we're going to work our way back to the center. So shimmying the shoulders, walking the heels. Make sure that you come back to what feels like a nice straight line. So head, shoulders, hips, knees and ankles, all in a straight line. And observe there. How does the body feel? Let's see if we can even up that stretch. So starting by walking the heels over to the left. Getting as far as you can. When you feel some resistance, pause there. And then shimmying the shoulders over to the left. Come into that stretch. So feet can be pointed or flexed. Arms can be up over the head. You could hold hands or one wrist, or you could have them down by your side. Breathing into the stretch this posture offers you down the side body, and it's a full body stretch. So trying to notice all of the body feeling that stretch, whether you've got the arms up in the air or down by your side. And maybe after a couple of breaths, there's a little bit of room for movement to come deeper into your palm tree or banana. Last breath on this side. And then walking the heels back, walking the shoulders back, everything in one line. If you want that last hug of the knees. And a little rock and roll. And then I want you to take 4 or 5 deep, slow breaths, either in our classic Shavasana pose with the legs stretched out or with the knees bent. Allowing the eyes to close. Maybe sighing out the exhales if that feels nice. And as you do this with nice, deep, slow breaths, imagine the body softening, all of the muscles relaxing. Observing how the body feels. Perhaps feeling that you've grown a little over the practice. The spine has more space in it. Maybe you'll walk away from this a little taller. You're welcome to stay here in relaxation longer. If you want to pause the video. When you're ready, rolling onto one side, slowly, slowly, coming up to sitting. Taking a pause before you continue with the rest of the day. Namaste.